The aging narcissist. Aloha. They think they own you. You've probably already heard words. You belong to me. You're mine. You're my property. Men and women, narcissistic personalities. They'll tell you those things. They'll might tell you that in an affectionate manner to make you feel like you're special. But what you don't know, and you'll find out later, is they really meant it. Especially if you get married, they feel like they own you. And I mean own like you're a toaster, a microwave, a vehicle, a piece of property. You are not. You're a human being. You have feelings, you have wants, and you have desires. But that narcissist, that toxic manipulator, does not care about such things. Now you're tired. You met someone that you fell wonderfully in love with because they had their mask on. You fell in love with her or him. You thought they were your knight in shining armor, your princess charming, your queen, your king. And you treated them as such. You bailed them out of bad situations, sometimes jail. You supported them, even when they acted like an idiot at a family gathering or a work situation. You stuck by their side. Oh, he or she's having a bad day. They had a rough childhood, and that's why they're acting out. Oh, they got drunk or other drugs you don't know about, or you do. Either way, they acted out and left you holding the bag. Now you're tired of it. You've been there long enough, whether it's weeks, months, years, decades. You're done. You've got memory issues, you're confused. You know that you know something's wrong. Some of you Google and find out narcissistic traits, manipulator. Other of you don't Google. You just know something is wrong. And I am very unhappy. The person I met is not who I have now. Prepare yourself. Get an education. Learn about toxicity, manipulators, narcissism. You're on your way out. Some of you are planning your escape. Some of you have already escaped and you're dealing with the trauma bond. I want to go back. Maybe if I tried harder. Maybe if I did this or that. Sweetie, if you're dealing with somebody with real narcissistic traits, you've looked up the DSM 5 and you can see that the person, the man or woman you're with, is checking off most of the boxes. Remember, 5 or more is malignant. No, we're not doctors. We cannot diagnose. Even a doctor can't diagnose on the first time they've met this person. But you've been with them for weeks, months, years, decades. You're not wrong. You've prayed. You've tried for the believers. The believers of you, some of you have stayed even though you no longer romantically love the person. You love them as a Christian. You love them as a spirit being. You don't want to see them go to hell. You think, oh, I'll stay and be a good example of agape love. I tried that. It doesn't work. Not when you're dealing with a true narcissistic personality. You ain't Jesus, even though you tried to be. You forgave the unforgivable. You forgave walking in and finding him with another man, her with another woman, or him with another woman, or her with another man, whatever. Because their perversion knows no bounds. You've forgiven all of that and you keep trying. You think, if I at least show them that God's love is unconditional. But you know now, so you're on your way out the door. Expect drama, expect tears, expect chaos, and guaranteed the smear campaign is running and has been. Save yourself. Get a good education. There's all kinds of domestic violence, and most of it doesn't even involve physical violence. Contact the Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-7233, 1-800-799-SAFE, Sam, Adam, Frank, Edward. That goes for men too. It's not just for women. There are female narcissists out there just destroying men, taking their lives away from, putting them in jail on fake charges, and vice versa. Many a woman who's been physically abused winds up going to jail because when she's defending herself that night, he got the marks that showed when the police arrived because she got the better of him. Perhaps he was drunk when he tried what he tried, or you picked up a lamp, or you picked up a fan, or you picked up some object to defend yourself. Now you're in handcuffs and you're going to jail. That's what's happening these days. Not just men are doing false time, women are too. Learn about this. Understand there's something called the trauma bond. So once you get away from them, you're actually going to miss them. You're going to want to go back. You may have gone to shelters and then returned to them. That's the trauma bond and the soul ties. Google those terms and learn. The bottom line is this: you're not an object. You are not to be owned. You are a human being. And for those of you who are believers, you're a child of God. You stayed, you prayed, you tried, you endured, you suffered, you forgave. And he or she is worse now than they were 20 years ago. Set yourself free from the aging narcissist. If you're 30, 32, 40, 42, understand something. You're on the way to being with an aging narcissist. They don't get better, they get worse. More scheming, more conniving. Save yourself. Self-care, self-love is not selfish. Get an education. Get a local domestic violence advocate, especially when there's children involved. And save yourself. Whether it's an aging narcissist or one that's going to be an aging narcissist in a certain amount of years. It's not your fault. You didn't know what you didn't know. There's no books on this. Well, there are now. But for those of us that are in our 50s, 60s, and 70s, we didn't have a chance. You younger ones, you've got Google. And now us older ones, we're using Google too. Save yourself. Set yourself free. I'm a life coach. Let me give you help. Turn from survivor to thriver, and some of you will actually become overcomers. www.clusterbfreekaren.com. Be blessed and aloha.